This is the Team Objection podcast for June 14th, 2018. It's episode 347, and we've got movers and shakers in this episode.
You guys were singing that La Bamba song, and I was like, yeah. No, not that one. Don't you? I said it, I sing that Bamba.
That's not the Bamba song, but I see. You know what else is a good song? Rhythm is Gonna Get You. That song scared me when I was a kid.
What's that song?
The rhythm is gonna get you.
Yeah.
Oh, someone say my
That's the same one.
I like that. Rihanna did a cover, a remake, where that was a part of it.
Was it good?
It was all right, but mostly for that part, which is just Michael Jackson's part.
You know what Rihanna's done lately that's pissed me off? Havana, Unana. It's so annoying.
That's not Rihanna.
It is.
Uh-oh.
What is it?
Rihanna, the Havana, like Havana.
She does not sing
I
Havana.
left my heart up
First
in
of all, it's
Havana.
not like Habana, which was whatever you said. It's Havana.
Well, I mean, if you're pronouncing it in the Spanish accent.
I'm
it's
pronouncing it
Havana.
as the song pronounces it, and it's Havana.
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 Like
Wait,
Vanna
I
White.
left my heart down in Havana.
Okay, I don't know what this is,
Look
but I'm
it
looking
up.
it up now.
American singer Camila Cabello.
Yeah, it sounds like that's Rihanna's real name.
It looks like she also has like a counter version or something, but it's not Rihanna's song.
Man.
I know this because Maisie's dad was like, Maisie, I want you to listen to this song. It's like real, authentic Cuban music. And it was this top 40 bullshit Havana song.
Oh my god.
And she's like, oh, Dad.
Oh, no.
You guys, look, before the mug goes away, look, I got this thing. For those of you not watching, it says 30 is the new 20, and it's one of those mugs that changes color.
Oh, it's cute.
heat-based. Yeah.
Basically, it's a metaphor for how life is just slowly getting darker the entire time as
Yeah,
you
that's
continue
kinda
to
true.
drink the life Yeah.
But it's also I'm so like my life is a fever, and as it gets hot, the white goes up, and I become 20 again.
And the only prescription is more cowbell.
Yes, that fit.
Chris is not impressed at all.
Dave,
No.
remember when I called you an ass tractor?
You mean
I-
45 seconds ago before the show started?
I stand by that more than ever before.
Now we're just introducing it into the Team Objection lore, so
Yeah, I mean, I had to find a
here it
way.
is.
I want somebody to really... We need some sort of archiver that goes back in and collects all the different insults that Shaun has done throughout the years.
Because I forget them.
It's true. I mean,
I
do you
do.
remember anything about saying about a slip that is
Yeah.
a pink?
I was
one?
like, here's your bitch, red slip. Was that it? Was that not?
You're close. You're actually kind of close.
Almost this close.
Here's your bitch.
Pink.
Go get it.
Like the singer.
Yeah, and she seems nice. I
Who
wouldn't say
sings
that about
Havana,
her.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Is there anybody who does not sing Havana?
Michael Jackson.
No, he did.
Oh, okay.
He did. That was when that one song. He's like, "Dirty Havana, nah." You remember?
Shimon.
Shimon.
Sounds
You guys,
correct.
I found out like from three different sources how Michael Jackson does that lean in
Smooth Criminal.
in Smooth Criminal. And I never before in my life heard how he did it. This is like a glitch in the Matrix stuff. Never once heard it. Heard it 3 times in 1 week.
I mean,
How-
the fact that he put a nail on the ground and then hooked his shoe into
Yeah.
it, basically.
Yeah, I'm
That's
just
really
saying,
not glitch in the Matrix. That's just it happened.
No, but I had never heard it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying him putting a nail on the floor is a glitch in the Matrix.
Everything
but-
is about you.
So the old podcast that I used to love back in the day, like my ultimate favorite, used to have a segment called Glitches in the Matrix, and they would have people like call in their weird, like coincidental situations and decide, is it like a glitch in the Matrix or is it just coincidence? Is it something more than that? The problem with this is there was like a major article that came out about the lean in Smooth Criminal that week, so I don't think we can count it.
What
That's
week?
why people were talking about it. That week that you were talking about, like 2 weeks ago, right?
Oh, really?
There was a big article about the whole thing. I think that's why people were talking about it.
Oh.
So
I
I'm
didn't hear
sorry
about it.
that you're not involved in the Matrix this time.
Well, I don't know. I still think it's. Do you have a Matrix situation, Dave?
I mean, you're talking still, so it's kind of annoying.
Is that like a code for the erection, or what is
I'm
a
trying
Matrix
to,
situation?
I'm trying to find out if you guys have. I want to judge you too.
I've never experienced something that I'm like, okay, actually, I do have one. I thought of one. So when I got home from work the other day, I came inside, went up the stairs, changed my clothes, came back downstairs, and my son's little chair was at the base of the stairs. I don't think either of my kids went downstairs and would have moved it, but for some reason the chair was at the base of the stairs. And it was not there when I
You
went
have a
upstairs.
haunting.
Yeah,
Apparently.
that's just a haunted house. That's not a glitch at all.
Well, what
Yeah.
else is a glitch? They say that in the Matrix movie, is that ghosts or poltergeists or like stuff like that is all glitches in the Matrix.
Okay, that's fair.
So boom.
That's fair. You cited source material. I like how Dave's stories like I went home to my loving family and I walked upstairs in my huge house and I put on my $1,000 pants, go downstairs to my loving kids, and the stroller that I spent $500 on is in a different spot.
And that's not where the maid left it, so I don't know what's happening.
Thank you. Exactly.
No, Shaun, you got it wrong. I took off the $1,000 pants,
Right.
but on the $500 pants.
Yeah.
Get it
and,
right.
And then my underwear made of pure gold.
That would not
around
be
my-
comfortable at all.
Well, I know, but
Laced with gold, you
you're
dumbass.
power playing
Yeah.
your wife.
Just get it right.
Typically, the example that they would really go with was like extreme coincidence. So, like, you think about a song you haven't heard of in forever for the first time. You haven't thought of this song for 15 years, and then you happen to get in your car on the way home from work that same day, and it's on the radio. And you haven't thought of it for like 10, 15 years, but all of a sudden, the first time it comes to your consciousness, you hear it externally, and you're like,
Do you know that reminds me? They do that with like people. Like you'll be walking and you'll think of somebody that again you haven't seen in a long time. And you'll turn around and like they're there. But I heard that is everybody like their heart gives off like a biomagnetic field that is like their own signature, and like your heart can like read somebody else's biofield. And so that's why, like, on a subconscious level, you're aware that they are around. So when you see them, it's not actually like a big coincidence. It's just like your body being cool.
Your body
Being cool.
Yeah. Isn't
Like-
that neat?
Huh.
Yes.
I
I've never heard this
I haven't heard that
before.
either. I guess that's the whole aura type of thing that people
No,
talk
no, it's
about.
not an aura because that's like a naturopathic bullshit stuff.
Well, no. I mean, it's along those same lines. It's kind of what people would talk about, don't you think?
No.
Okay.
no, it's just souls resonating with each other. That's all.
No, it's just it's like science though, is what I'm saying.
The science.
It's not like I'm not like Gwyneth Paltrow being like, here, this rock. It's like the field of your heart.
This
that's
rock is so
generated.
magical. Just
Yeah.
take
Right.
it.
Like when Shaun has worked out and he hasn't showered, you know he's nearby, whether or not you have visual on him.
Yeah. Exactly.
You just know in your heart and your nose, but mostly your heart.
Gwyneth Paltrow, who's never seen a day of like hardship in her life, is like, ladies and gentlemen, when I just have a hard day, I come home and I sip from this coffee mug made from pure ivory from the coast of Nebraska. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
The coast of Nebraska.
Yeah.
That's what she says. I was just being Gwyneth Paltrow, not in any way myself.
I mean, you weren't making any sense, so you are on the right track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gwyneth
that's-
Paltrow is basically your Dave impression turned up to 12.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Gwyneth Paltrow's had like a trying day, like when her maid didn't show up, kind of like in the instance of Dave's chair.
Right.
He was
But-
like she didn't show up. She couldn't put the chair back. So
She
I don't
probably
know.
had. I imagine she had a bad day when she found out what she had actually named her daughter.
No. You know what? I actually don't mind that name.
What's her name?
I'm gonna
Apple.
go on a limb.
I've actually met an apple before. It's kind
What?
of weird.
Really?
Yeah, I met
Did
a
you
person
eat
named
it?
Apple.
I've never met an apple I didn't eat.
Yeah.
No,
I
there was
kind
a
of like it.
there was
It
a girl that I met randomly through like friend of a friend in college whose name was Apple.
Oh, like an adult.
Yes. Yes. I went to a
Wow.
Scottsdale bar with her.
Even
Not
if
one-on-one.
it's an acceptable name, and I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I think it's kind of cool. You can't name your kid something that's going to get them beat up for 12 years.
It's I mean, if you're sending him some sort of fancy private school or something like that, where
Private school kids are worse.
Well, I meant some like free range kids school type of thing where they they
Free range kids.
like
We don't put our
Walmart
kids
schools or
in
something?
cages.
exactly.
Yes.
No, it's like the hands-on learning, like some sort of hippie
Yeah.
type of learning schools that are out there, non-conventional ones.
Or if you intend to homeschool.
Yeah, that too.
I don't think Apple's that bad. I think it was kind of like outrageous at the time because no one was really naming their kids weird things, at least celebrities, and so it was kind of one of the first instances. I think it's one of the better instances.
What
Better
is
than-
the best instance? I have my vote right now.
I have the worst.
What
What's
is
the
it?
worst?
North.
That was my best.
I love it.
I don't know.
love it.
Was it? Didn't Michael Jackson name his kid Blanket or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't-
That's real
Blanket?
bad. Yeah.
It was Blanket.
Yes.
Okay.
That reference comes from somewhere, yeah.
Well, I know they referenced it in South Park, but I couldn't couldn't remember if I was remembering his actual name or the South Park name. But apparently they're the same.
Blanket's
Frank
pretty
Zappa?
bad.
Blankets
Frank
are really
Zappa
good.
named his kids Dweezil and Moon Unit.
Yep. I've seen Dweezil on TV before. He was on that show At Midnight, which is on Comedy Central.
Has
It's
he
actually a good
changed
show.
his name?
No.
No,
All right.
Dweezil
either
Zappa.
his Moon Unit. Yeah, no, they go by him.
Okay.
Yep.
I like North. I don't like how it's Northwest. That's
That's
Well,
the
that's
whole
the problem.
point of it.
But like just hearing like, oh yeah, my name is North is like, oh yeah, that's all right.
I like
that's
it.
okay.
I like it a lot.
Could you be
actually.
named North if you were born in, say, Georgia?
Yeah.
I mean, then you'd be North from the South.
You're technically in North America.
Yeah, the northern hemisphere. I was gonna say continent. That's wrong.
It doesn't have to make sense.
Yeah, but
There you go. That's
I don't
the
mind.
biggest thing I need to
like,
remember.
north on its own is fine, but again, it's paired with west. So
Yeah.
when you're in school, guess who's gonna get called out in attendance? Northwest.
This kid is named Blue Ivy.
Jay-Z and Beyonce's kid.
Right. That one's
Blue.
not that great.
Blue?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Blue,
It's
no.
cute as a nickname.
If you're a dog.
Yeah, pretty much.
Who finds clues?
Yeah, I don't
Just
love
stick it
that.
out, Blues
So Dave,
Clues.
when you have kids that you actually love, what do you think you'll name them?
Tristan.
No, that would be the kid I hate
Oh. Oh no.
because it's a stupid name.
Chris, if you ever have kids you love, what are you going to name them?
I haven't thought about it a ton. I thought of some names over time that I thought were kind of neat, and now I'm trying to think of them, and I don't know what they are. I would go through a list once it got more serious, and I'd also have to consult my wife. But, you know,
I like biblical names a lot.
Oh, okay.
they're coming back a little bit, but not so much that they're like... if you look at names from like 20, 30 years ago, biblical names were all over the place, and now instead
Yeah.
it's a little more pop culture heavy when you look at like the top 20 baby names every year.
I wanna name my kids Judas and like Zachariah or something.
What
Those
about
are
Ezekiel?
cute.
What about Ezekiel?
Yeah, sure.
But Judas is another name that's going to get kids beat up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Judas is probably a no-go.
No
but
one would ever
Elijah
Yeah.
is one of my favorite names ever.
No one would
And
ever
Noah
trust a Judas.
is my favorite name ever.
Noah?
Noah.
If there was like a locked door murder and someone in the room's name is Judas, you're like, it's you.
Well,
You're
this
like,
case is
"That's
all wrapped
not
up.
fair. I was in the bay. You're like, no, it doesn't.
No, it's
You're
you.
Judas.
Yeah.
You actually have to disqualify some names, I think, for you and me because our names start with a vowel, our last names. And to me, there are some names that just don't roll off the tongue well when it's followed by like a eh.
Evil Knievel Elters.
No,
I
it
would
actually
not-
is pretty good.
Oh.
That flows. The L
Okay.
into the E.
Because you end
that
up with
works.
an L. But if let's say I was going to name my kid Beyonce for some reason, Beyonce Etling, it gives you that double vowel sound that's just not good.
Ah.
That kind of a name.
I'm trying to think of
Georgia Elters.
it. That's not easy, I suppose.
Kal-El Elters.
Kal-El Elter. That's cool, though.
That's got a lot of a la 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 in the end.
La 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 la.
I kind of have to think about it because, or I have to like hold it on reserve because I'm waiting for something like big to happen. Like,
Actually having
a
kids.
David comes and saves my life, or like
Yup.
a
Got it.
Jennifer comes and saves and pulls my kid out of a fire. You know, my other kid that I've already named because I don't care. They say pull Kal-El out.
Kal-El.
I also started this as a joke, but Dothraki Jones is growing on me as a name for my son.
No! You're going to hate your children.
No, I just think it's so unique.
Well,
Yes.
certainly that.
It is, but that doesn't mean it's good.
And then I could be like, come here, Doth.
Duh.
And then it sounds like I'm like Old English. Doth thou protest too much. That's how I name my kid.
Thou doth name sucks.
Yeah. And look at the double meaning. That's great.
I hate it.
I
It's a bad name.
I don't think all names have to have like a significance though. I met somebody one time that was like, I hate my name. And if he hears this, he's going to know who I'm talking about. But I'm going to say, I hate my name because it has no meaning. So I hate it. It's like, your parents can just be like, I like the sound of this name.
Yeah, that's meaning unto itself.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What if it was like, I was watching the news and there was a child rapist on and I just thought the name was good.
Yeah,
Is that not okay?
I mean, you just randomly get it off the TV. Yeah.
Well, but what you just like the sound of it, but it was Timothy McVeigh.
Timothy McVeigh Elters.
Timothy McVeigh Elters. That's pretty cool.
That flows. It flows off the tongue. It's fine.
I've been vamping for Chris because he's looking something up for us.
Yeah, I'm still going to pull up the list from 2018 because there was a name that was on there that I saw that I had forgotten about, and unfortunately it breaks the one rule I brought up in this, but I like Chloe. It just doesn't work with my last name.
Chloe's a good name. I actually really like it.
I don't like Chloe unless your kid's gonna grow up to be like a fortune teller.
What?
You know, I don't
Miss
know.
Chloe.
That's you're thinking of Cleo.
Oh yeah.
What, I mean, it doesn't matter though. It's to me, like if she's gonna be the next Goop person, name her
No.
Chloe. That's fine.
I think of the Life is Strange. There's a character named Chloe, and I
Yeah.
really like her.
There was a Chloe, I think, on like Smallville.
Yep. Who ended up being a cultist.
Holy shit! She got arrested for like sex slavery
Yeah.
shit.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
Allison
setting your kid
Mack.
up for success.
It was no. You guys, it's like blowing my mind. It was like a pyramid
That's
scheme.
right.
Yep.
Like real, like not in
Sex
the show.
slaves.
Like,
I thought she was super cute that first season of Smallville too, but it turns out Allison Mack's a crazy person, and yeah.
Yeah, and she on a show. She was on a show. Okay, she was on a show before Smallville. It was like a different show.
Right. I don't remember, but maybe. That's the only place I ever saw her myself.
Anyways, just
Now-
wow.
Michelle, does it affect anything if Noah's the second most popular baby name of the year? Is
no, but I'm actually not surprised. Like I don't really know anyone our age. I know of 2 people like that I know personally named Noah. So it's not popular for my generation, but I know it's like super popular right now, and like that kind of annoys me. But they kind of ebb and flow.
Yeah.
Like it.
I always feel like if you're gonna name kids, you can't take like the number 1 names. You got to get like the number 35 name on the list or
Yeah.
something like that. You're down a little ways, but it's not into the Justin with a I and a Y in it or something like that, which is stupid.
Yeah,
I
Let's
like
see.
Noah.
I like
I
Noah.
love it.
I like it better than like Caden and Camdens and all those names
Oh,
that are coming
no.
out now.
I
Aiden,
liked
I hate those.
Ezra for like the longest time. I didn't
I
know it was
love
a
that
biblical
name.
name, but
Ezra.
it
I
is.
love it. Elijah and Ezra are some of my favorite.
Do you remember what
names.
you were wanting to name my son if he would have been a girl? You made up a name for it.
Judith.
No, it was a combination of. It was you pulled a Twilight card. Shaun.
Renesmee?
No, yeah, well, Renesmee.
It was
That's the one.
Yeah.
I would say Dortney.
No, no. You used my mother and mother-in-law's names, and it came out with Meryl. And you're like, holy shit, that was actually good.
Yeah, Meryl's not bad.
Cute.
Also, Cavid is a kind of a strong name.
Cavid. Sounds,
Cavid?
Meryl's
Sounds like Katie did.
already from Metal Gear Solid. Doesn't work.
Yeah, Meryl's cool though.
Cavid sounds like you're
Meryl.
going into some large, dark area, and then hit a hard stop, like Cavid.
Dortney sounds like you don't want your kids to have success of
No,
any kind.
not in
No.
any way, shape, or form. No, that's why you don't
Dortney.
combine.
Dorothy.
Come here, Dortney. You haven't done your chores yet.
Dortney, get on
I
the
hate it
phone.
when you call me that.
All right, so
hate it.
here's a trivia question then. Of the 4 of us, and we all have pretty goddamn common names, who is ranked the highest in 2018? Respective list, obviously. There's 100 names for boys, 100 names for girls,
Me.
but who's got
Shaun.
the top position?
I would actually say Chris is up
Chris.
there.
I would
Yeah.
actually vote Chris, but I'm going to say Shaun to be different.
But I guess
I'm
wait,
going-
if biblical names are making a comeback, mine might be on there.
I'm gonna say Dave. Well, David.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything because I already know the answer. David is 32nd among the boys' names.
Ah, not even close.
Christopher is in the 70s.
Oh.
Where was I?
Oh.
Nope, excuse me, 66.
Okay.
What about Christo? Is that higher?
No.
Maybe in Greece.
And Shaun and Michelle both not on the list.
Ooh.
Excellent.
Whoa! Yes.
Here are some names that beat out your guys' names in
Oh,
2018.
no.
King for boys.
Excellent.
Roman
No.
for boys.
It's all right.
Roman.
Harper for
I
girls.
got
love
a-
it.
Yeah.
I love that name so much.
Harper is okay.
Aubrey with 2 E's.
That's dumb.
Ew.
No.
That's awful. Put a Y in there.
Nevea,
Oh my
N-E-V-A-E-H.
Well,
What
they
is that?
like
Like
the-
lotion?
No,
That's
it's
like
heaven
a-
backwards.
It's like a shampoo
No.
brand.
Nevea
Yeah.
is literally they name it that kid because it's heaven spelled backwards.
There is one
Excellent.
name on the female list that I kind of like here, and it's Quinn. I almost feel like we're
Oh,
maybe
I like it.
removed enough from the doctor, medicine woman to get away
Nope.
from that.
That's the first place my mind went.
Maybe.
I like Quinn.
Stella's kind of cool.
Stella.
Yeah, again, there's a reference to it, unfortunately, but I like it anyways.
I think of the Simpsons episode where they made it into a musical.
Yeah.
Can't
Sebastian?
you hear me yell?
Sebastian is such a good name.
Is
I think
12th.
it's a crab.
Okay.
12th among men.
Wow.
Wow.
Maybe because the Winter Soldier, maybe because the crab.
When I'm like in my 40s, I'm gonna be hiring a bunch of Sebastians. I'm gonna fire all of them. 'Cause
I
name
love that
sucks.
name.
Yeah, I don't need every
Shaun, you're-
intern being named Sebastian.
You're not that far away from your 40s. Like the kids are going to be teenagers when you're in your 40s.
Whatever, even easier.
Here's your top 5 on both sides, by the way, in case you're
Okay.
curious. Liam for boys. Liam,
Liam's
I like
okay.
it.
Noah, we talked about.
That's all right.
Oliver.
I like it.
Oliver.
Oliver for Arrow,
Right.
clearly.
Oliver, last name close off. Logan
Ugh.
and Mason.
It's my brother's name.
Literally,
Yeah.
literally.
Sorry.
Logan,
I didn't know that.
superhero.
Yep.
Oliver,
Mason,
superhero.
attorney at law.
Mason, I don't
like
know.
Mason.
I don't like as a first name.
It sounds like a fat Scottish dude working at like a wheel, like a stone wheel, like
Right.
sharpening the weapons for the king.
I
which
mean,
is
that's
also,
a little on the nose, but yeah.
yeah.
And the girls?
Number 1 is Emma.
Ew.
I like that.
Number
No,
2.
It's fine.
Ew.
I know an
it's-
Emma, so I can't.
Roll that back.
Yeah.
Number 2
Yeah.
is Olivia.
That's cute.
I love Olivia.
Oliver and Olivia, like, what are we
Yeah.
doing?
Number 3 is Ava.
No.
No, that's a robot's name.
Yeah, or one of the worst characters in Justified. Number 4 is Isabella,
That is
No.
worse.
which is Bella for short. And number
Oh,
5
God.
is Sophia. Isabella was number 1 a year or 2 ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Sophia's good. Olivia's the best of all of those.
See, if I
Like, by far.
if I met someone named Isabella, I'd want to have them to go by Izzy, not Bella. I kind of
Yeah.
like Izzy.
Of course, the problem is, I mean, granted, A is the letter you end a lot of female names with, so it's kind of screwed with my last name, like we talked about. But I like Emma, I like Olivia, but it's the same problem. Olivia Etling.
Olivia Etling's not bad.
Uh,
That one is fine. Ava Etling actually is not bad either. It's just kind of like in the cadence of it.
Maybe it's just because I talk fast and I ruin it for myself. I don't know.
Truth.
Harper is one of my favorite girl names. Like, if I had a
Sharper?
daughter, I'd name her Harper.
Harper.
I know she said Harper, but it sounded like Sharper, and I was like, that's a better version.
Sharper Image Weber.
Yeah, like an image.
Image is my middle name.
I don't know,
hate it.
guys. I don't like these new names.
No?
I do.
Sophia's like, hi, 1950. What is that?
I like it.
No.
There's a lot of kids with Sophia nowadays.
Yeah.
A
Well,
lot of them.
obviously, but it sucks.
I like Sophie.
Sophie just reminds me of that movie.
Sophie's Choice.
Yeah.
House of Castle is what I was thinking, but okay.
No.
So my name used to be like super high. And
Yeah.
when I was born, I believe 85, it was like 3rd or 4th. And it just kind of started slipping, and now it's down in the 60s. And there's no Shauns of any spelling. And there's no Michelles at all.
We
I
needed
don't know.
a break from Shaun. Shaun was like, how are you going to spell it? I don't know. There's 15 different ways.
Yeah.
He's like, no. They need to be
Okay.
retired.
I'm looking up the top names and seeing if I was on the list for 1989, and I
Okay.
was. I was number 22, and Courtney was number 21.
So you lost to Courtney. Great.
Well,
I did,
That-
but I don't
what
think
about
she was born
84
in
though?
1989.
No, 84 was when my wife was born.
Yeah.
What about Robert? I hate that name. I just think Robert's like a douchey like lawyer who like you like he will press charges. You know what I'm saying? Like I hate it.
Here's the problem with Robert. So Robert, I don't particularly care for, but it's better than Bob and Rob.
Hey, my uncle is named Bob. Uncle Bob.
Yeah.
It flows. Also, he was like 75 when I met, when I was a kid. So it was kind of okay because Uncle Bob, when he's a 75-year-old, is totally fine.
Yeah, but like
Uncle
Bob
Bob
isn't what
is
you
fine.
name like a real person these days.
Named
Bob
Robert.
is like you name. I don't know.
A lot of them go
You
by
can't-
Robbies now.
A
Robbie is a good one.
child can't be Bob. That's weird, right?
Chris and I went to high school with a guy named Bob.
High
He almost-
school, okay.
He almost
Robert.
killed us. He almost killed us.
He did.
Well, that's because Robert is a shitty name.
Yeah, Bob, you can't do unless you're like you're like Poindexter and you got like glasses and like a gelled down comb over and suspenders that go up to your knees.
Man, that
Then
would be
it's okay.
really weird for like a 9-year-old to have.
Dave, what year were you born in?
I got
85.
that list already up. 1985, Christopher's number 2.
Ooh.
David is number
Okay.
6.
Dang.
Oh,
Sean is number 38.
Yeah, this makes me hate
Oh.
both of your parents. Like, let's just look at the list. We'll do not number 1, but number the one after that.
Number 1 was Michael, so
My
Yeah.
name was
Yeah,
was
yeah.
picked long before lists had come out because I was
Yeah.
gonna be named after my grandfather.
yeah, why are they looking at internet lists in 1985? Come on.
It's so lame. Google it. Whatever.
And Michelle lost to Crystal too, so that's
Oh,
fun.
Crystal. That's
Well-
that's bad.
So that's a porn name.
There
it is.
are a ton of Michaels that I know that are my age. A ton of them.
Don't be
Yeah.
sad you lost that to Crystal. You would have had to have been like a masseuse.
Well, my name almost
Guaranteed.
was Summer, so I would have definitely been
Oh,
a stripper.
God.
Summer's okay.
100%.
Summer's kind of cute.
No.
I would have been a
It's not a stripper name.
Shaun.
Summer.
My middle name is Brooke. My name would have been Summerbrook.
Summerbrook.
Yeah, it's cute.
Summerbrook Weber.
She would not have had clothes on at any point in her life.
Summer is fine.
I know. I would have been a stripper.
No, summer is as good as autumn.
Which
Although
is
Autumn
also
Brook
a stripper name.
sounds like
Autumn
a
Brook is more of
bookstore.
a No, Autumn Brook is totally more of a stripper name.
No, it's not.
I think so.
It's like Jennifer with a Y.
Coming on the
That's a
stage next is
stripper name.
Autumn.
Or like Nicole with 2 Ys. That's a stripper name.
NYC.
NYY.
Next up on the stage is Autumn Brook. She has 17 kids, and her dead eyes are still waiting for any hope to come, but
Oh.
they're not going to happen.
Autumn, I think, is fine. I like seasons as name, but not like spring.
Winter.
Winter is okay.
No, not as
I
good as
think-
name.
Winter's cool.
I think Winter was cool. I think Game of Thrones has ruined that.
you would not fuck, with a person
Winter
named Winter.
is coming.
Winter is coming.
You also wouldn't fuck Winter, like in a good way.
I would.
I'm sure. Okay.
And poor Winter's like, I'm not always coming, okay? Stop it.
Shaun,
It's
you
not
like
gonna matter.
hippie
Especially if
names.
Shaun was
It's
doing
actually
it.
really, really hard for me. What?
You like hippie names.
I like unique names.
My half brothers are named Jade and Sky.
Sky is.
That's a stripper name.
I don't like.
They're guys.
Sky's okay.
Doesn't matter.
Sky's okay.
I want to like those, but I don't.
Yeah. I don't know what my dad was smoking when he named his children that, but
Can you narrow it down, maybe?
that's why he has a new family. He's like, well, I messed that up, so
Take
Summer
two.
Brook, here we go. Like,
Mhm.
Summer.
my mom
I
was like, no,
really
no.
think summer is fine still.
I think I would have been a totally different person if my name was Summer.
Why?
And it sounds really
Why?
weird, but I think it's true.
I don't know why a name would have to define you.
I know,
It
but like it does
doesn't.
sometimes, so it's weird.
It does.
It does.
Yeah, like even it's not like I would actively have changed my lifestyle based on it, but I think it may have impacted my adolescence.
You
or something.
have-
I don't know.
You have definitely had times in your life where you've met someone and heard their name and thought less of them.
Yes.
I can think back to about 4 years ago. Hi, meet my friend David Robinson, and I was like, "Is that a real name, or like is he under like witness protection?"
Okay. It was more than 4 years ago.
That's how little Dave cares. It's like 9 now.
3
And
months ago, David Robinson.
When I met Dave
Walk
earlier
into
this
my
morning, my middle name is one I think is a douchey name.
Todd.
Todd.
Todd is at least not your
Oh.
first name.
Yeah,
That's your middle name?
there's a lot of people at the newspaper that I work at that go by their middle name. There's a ton. It's amazing. Like all the males there do. I will never go by my middle name.
Ooh. Michelle.
Plus it makes me think of like, and you're mine too, Todd. You know,
I'm a hound dog.
Todd and Copper.
Michelle, do you know my middle name?
No.
It's not a common
It's
one.
not common at all.
Sean
Is
doesn't know it
is
either.
Sean doesn't know it either.
I could give you a starting letter. You're not going to get there.
David
Please do. Give it to
Robert
me.
Robinson.
Okay, it's an H.
Starts with an H, yep.
Hugh.
Ends with an ICK. Not Hick.
Hick.
Huck.
Hendrick.
Nope. No.
Heck.
You're not going to get it. Don't worry about it. It's,
Havlicek.
I wish. No, it's Herrick.
Herrick.
It's a very German name.
Rhymes
Is it
with
a family
Eric.
name?
Yes. My grandfather and his grandfather had the exact same name, David Herrick
It was
Robinson.
bestowed on them by Hitler.
Actually, my great great grandfather was
dubbed
born
thee.
before Hitler, so
Yeah,
I like it.
my dad also has Todd as a middle name. I'm not sure why I inherited it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Y'all could have had Maurice as your middle name. That
I-
would have been.
My
Oh,
name
that's
is
right. You're
yeah.
Maurice.
It's better than
It's an
Herrick.
interesting name.
Yeah.
I don't think it fits
doesn't
you.
suit you at
Yeah.
all. Yeah, like at all.
Maurice sounds like a guy who wears, a monocle and a top hat, and
No, I don't think so. Like either like Italian or like a different ethnicity. And I would say that's racist, but I have had like 15 different people be like, "But you're white." When they hear my
Yeah.
middle name. So it's like, I guess that's a thing.
Yeah.
I just think of Rocket Power because one of the characters who was Hispanic was
Yeah.
named Maurice,
Oh my
and so
God.
I was like,
you've never shown the difference in our age more than the fact that you just referenced Rocket Power.
Yeah.
Because I literally have never watched that show. Ever.
I love that show.
Oh my God.
And I won't say who said this, but when I said my name is Maurice, and they're like, "But you don't like watermelon," I was like, "Oh, okay."
What?
Yeah, you all know who said that. That's.
I mean, I don't, but I don't know that I want to know.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll tell you when you're older.
Yeah.
That's awful.
It's
Wow.
awfully interesting.
It's something.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I think, like, once you get used to somebody's name being their name, it's really weird to not have their name be that name anymore.
Yeah, like when you know someone and they legally change their name to something else.
It's true. I've never been through that experience before, but
No.
I could be very jarring, I imagine.
I have now gotten to the point where, like, to me, it has changed. But it took 2 full years at least.
I believe it.
I can't remember his original name.
Ooh.
I'm not going to tell you. It'll just mess you up.
Yep, it's true.
Yeah, so like, it's a good thing. That means that it's totally solidified for me. Actually, my best friend here in Portland transitioned, and so I had to start calling her by the name that she chose, it was strange initially, but now I'm like, it's the no-brainer.
I would almost feel that that's easier in a way, though, because the physical appearance is different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, but it's still like you kind of just have these speech patterns that you would say, like referring to their name, and then you're like, you have to kind of catch yourself, like, oh no, like that's their dead name.
Was
I'm
it
not
like-
gonna call them that anymore?
Was it like close? Was it like Becca
Yes.
and now they're like Beck, the
Yeah,
shitty
it was
musician?
really close. Same first letters, everything
Okay.
like that. It even had a similar kind of sound, which that does happen a lot. I think it's probably just for the ease of like feeling like you own the name. I know some people though who just go completely off because they don't want to be associated with like their families or things like that when they have negative associations. But yeah, it's pretty interesting.
What would you do if Chris legally changed his name to like Raylan Givens?
What if I just changed my name to Todd and I was like, hello, I am Todd Etling.
I would have to call you the Todd and high five you all
Yeah,
the
you
time.
also wouldn't sound like
Yes.
that anymore.
What, my voice automatically
Yeah,
goes up
yeah,
an octave
you'd
if
be
I'm
like,
Todd?
Welcome
I'm
at
Todd.
the buzzer. My name is Todd. Like, okay, that's strange.
Thanks for listening to the podcast. If you want to listen to more of my voice, here's where you can check us out.
I'm the Todd.
It sounds like a very nasally Casey Kasem.
I apparently have Casey Kasem in my range because the second time you've name dropped him today, even though none of our listeners know who he is.
Hi, come on.
I don't know who that is.
What?
Why would we know Casey Kasem?
He's one of the most influential radio voices of all time, and he was the voice of Shaggy,
Yep.
Oh.
the
don't
original
know.
one.
I mean, if you heard his voice, you'd be like, oh, that's who that guy is.
Yeah, he
Okay.
did a bunch of commercials. He was all over the place. But he's also primarily from like the 70s.
Yes, maybe even earlier than that.
Now, he had
Hey,
a
had
long
shirt on that
career.
time. Great.
Yeah. Just for you, since you were up here visiting us, Michelle's roommate put a shirt on.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, wonderful.
That was scary. I saw someone behind Michelle, and then I thought it was behind me.
Right.
I was like, "What? Who was that?"
It's going to go from her frame. It's going to walk to somebody else's frame. Oh, shit.
If that was Lincoln, I would have punched him in the dick, but it wasn't.
It
so
wasn't,
It's fine.
no.
Phew.
That'd be scary. That'd be a scary, like, horror movie or something. I could, like, hop between. Never mind.
That'd be like It Follows 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's been a couple of horror movies that have tried to use technology in that way, and I don't think they've succeeded all that
Yeah,
well.
don't you remember Friend Request? That gem?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And who
Social
could
media is going to
forget-
get you all.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I think it's funny, Sean, that I'm winning the bet now.
why?
You totally forgot.
I didn't forget. I just... my complaint is, fine, I'll outro with it. It's so dumb, and you're going to regret it, but I'll do it.
I'm just curious now. Like, curiosity is getting me.
Someone the other day, I had like a few people where I'm at a stoplight, they're in front of me, and it's like red, but it's gonna go green soon, and they like start edging their car forward.
Oh.
Oh, that kind of
And
okay.
yeah, I'm not looking in their car. I mean, maybe they are doing that too. And I'm just like, freaking why? Like, what are you gonna do with all those seconds that you saved by like going into the green light? Half the time they screw it up anyway. And
I
so they're
do
like
it.
halfway into the why? Why?
I'm bored.
She's bored, ladies and gentlemen.
That's it. That's the only reason.
I'm giving her a look of admonishment right now, and I'm saying, bored? You can hear the bored part, but the look
Oh.
I had to explain. Bored.
Why does it make a difference in your life is what I want to know.
Because it's like those things that I'm like, why? What?
Okay, great. But
I mean,
how does
I
it
just
affect
gave you
you?
my
It doesn't
answer.
affect you at all.
It's the same thing on the radio. This is a thing on the radio, too, is like when people type K, and I know like people at this table do it, and that's fine, but I'm just like, wow, what are you going to do with all the time you saved not having the O in there?
That's the I hate. Oh,
It's the same thing with the intersection of like, wow, now you're gonna get to that Pilates class a lot faster.
Okay, it's fine.
it's not.
Sure.
It is.
It has such a I don't want to talk to you anymore connotation.
That's what I use it for.
No, it depends.
If I say,
depends.
"Hey, Michelle, I'm so excited to see you," okay, like that's.
I mean, yeah, but if you said okay, it would still have the exact same connotation.
it would have even more of a rude connotation.
Here's all I'm saying. I know. Take the extra time. Put in the O. What?
So, here's what I can't figure out too: is a lot of people when they type the letter U for you when they're texting. For me, that actually takes longer because I have to think about it. I have to think about the fact to find the U instead of typing YOU. So
I do it ironically. Like I never do it. Like,
That's true.
Seriously.
Well, if I ever would do that ironically, it would be in all caps for sure.
Mm-hmm.
UNO.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And doing like numbers like U2, like it's so dumb, but I like doing that.
Only in an ironic
I've talked
sense.
to people who are like smart people, and like their typing in text is like it's shorthand, but it's also like a bunch of misspellings. Like even for shorthand, and I'm like, are you drunk? What's happening?
I do that sometimes. It depends on my comfort with the person I'm talking to. I'll just like it'll be nonsense, but.
Yeah, but it's nonsense that I can read.
I have a quick panel question for the other three of you.
Okay, I'm a panel. I'm the panel.
If you saw a email advertisement or an internet advertisement for for any sort of business, specifically in the case that I saw, it was more of like almost like a medical business, like a weight loss type of business. And there, the phrase said, "We can help you lose 15 pounds in the first month." Like, would you ever go to this?
Call them immediately.
I just. My cousin posted this on Facebook, like some advertisement, and said how great they were. And I looked at it like, I would immediately not go to this place because they can't even take the moment to proofread their stuff. What are they going to do to me? And I know they're probably not connected because they probably are very focused in what they do, and they could be very good. But it's just, to me, a sign.
Yeah, like it's like that form of intelligence should not be representative of the entire kind of intelligence, but it's hard not to judge.
It is.
I would go to them immediately because they're so busy making you lose weight. They don't have time to spell check.
It's just not professional. If they couldn't get like someone to proof that shit, like that just I don't know, kind of shows bad like business practices stuff like that.
I couldn't imagine sending some work email in any way and having that glaring of a misspelling in it.
I don't know.
It's not even a misspelling. They think it's spelled that way.
That's true. That is very true.
And spell check can't save them.
No.
Nope.
Yeah, that's the other problem.
They're just doomed.
Yeah.
Of course, there are people who don't let spell check save them even when it's there, so,
Yeah, you see the red squiggly, they're like, it's fine.
Yeah.
I like that they have those like Grammarly, like they're like really pushing this thing now, and I'm like, just hire me. I'll do that for you.
Yeah.
I've always thought about that for like some athlete or entertainer's Twitter account, like if they run it themselves. Like, look, here's all you got to do. Pay me a 6% of your annual salary. You just send me a text of what you want to tweet. I will tweet it out in perfect grammar, and we're good.
That'd be sweet.
I will do that. I will any time of day, 24 hours a day. I will do that.
Kevin was telling me LeBron James, his like Twitter's all about like wine,
Interesting.
and he says sheesh. Sheesh, like LeBron James, you would not think is a man who says sheesh a lot,
That's
but
really
he does.
funny, actually.
J.R. Smith,
Okay.
man, oh sheesh. Yeah, that sucks, man. And I can make a J.R. Smith joke now because pretty much everybody, even non-basketball fans, like know he sucks.
Became a meme, really.
Yeah.
Like, do you know about this? Nope, Michelle doesn't. Great. Her eyes told me no.
How would Michelle know?
Because it was pretty popular for a couple days there.
Not in her circles.
Yeah,
I
Maisie was
understand.
sending me memes. She can't name probably 5 basketball players.
Now, she can name 2. The 2 in that meme.
Yeah.
The question you have to ask yourself is, would Tumblr post about J.R. Smith? And the answer is a resounding no.
Tumblr's too busy up their own asses to do anything about the real world.
Yeah.
I can't
Absolutely
think of
true.
a time I've ever intentionally looked at Tumblr. Like, I've seen people link to a picture on Tumblr, but I've never like gone to Tumblr to look up things. I don't get it.
I can't
It's for
remember
the
a
best.
time that Tumblr has ever come up and I haven't ridiculed it rightfully.
Yeah.
Rightfully.
Rightfully.
True.
Justified
It's a
in its ridiculing.
cesspool. It sucks. I admit
Yeah.
it.
Shit post after shit post.
I love it. I
It's
love my
like
shit
the
posts.
Gutter of the internet.
Yeah.
It's
But
like
that's,
the gutter, like a dead body fell into. Like no one knows it's there, and so the water's contaminated, and we don't know
sounds
why.
Sounds like 4chan and possibly Reddit, but
No,
yes.
Reddit depends on what subreddit you're on. I will defend Reddit on some subreddits.
I love Reddit.
Yeah.
But also it's trash. Let's be real.
It depends on what subreddit you're on. There are many, many trash subreddits.
Yes,
People
it's
are
mostly
getting
trash.
sick, drinking the water. We don't know why.
Sean's hanging on to this metaphor.
We're going on this still. We're on the train. We can't get off now.
Yeah.
So let's do a little housekeeping real quick. This is the only episode we're going to post this week because we're going into summertime and things are busy. We're all going to be together except Dave. Womp womp. On a trip. So we have an episode this Thursday. That's why it's a little longer than usual. We have an episode next Thursday that we're going to record now and then post while we're gone. There's no episode the week of July 4th. It's Independence Day, so we're taking our independence by not giving you content. So,
Yeah, screw
Freedom!
you, America.
sorry about that. But we'll be back July 12th on the regular schedule. So we have show this week, show next week, then a week off, and then we're back. That's all. Housekeeping. Goodbye. Say
Adios.
goodbye.
Oh, is that
Bye.
it?
Yeah, I'm not giving the
Look how
outro.
Sweaty? That's all sweat just from this
Oh my
episode.
god! I thought that was a
God.
I
shadow.
look like I've been like in an oven.
What? I mean, it's
Shaun!
warm up here,
Look
but
at this one.
It's not warm.
Look at that.
Oh,
It goes all the way down.
I have.
It's like I hit with a water balloon.
zero at all.
I don't know if
I
I have
know.
any either.
Michelle, show us your pits.
You can't see, but
Yeah.
there.
She's probably sweating. It's her
I
modus
am a little
operandi.
bit, but it doesn't come through because it's a very big
All the hair
sweater.
catches it.
You know what would make you maybe sweat a little less, although I know you can't
What?
help yourself completely, not wearing a sweater in June.
It's cold. It's like 57 or something.
Cold.
Yeah, it's been raining. I
Are you
got
kidding me?
caught
That's freezing.
in a rainstorm.
57? That is freezing.
Still 20 degrees above short weather for me.
I got caught in a rainstorm and it was very cold. Okay.
And
Well-
that happened when she was 6 years old, and ever since then she has
No.
worn sweaters.
Wearing a wool sweater in a rainstorm is generally a poor idea.
No,
Look at
I
how-
put this on after.
Literally the difference between me and you. You, sweater. Me, here.
Sweater.
Like, look at that.
So
Our
don't you
body
like the
types
pun
are
like that?
completely different.
Yeah, it's a different kind of sweater.
Yeah.
One's a verb, sort of, like a noun, but a verb, and then one's the noun
That
completely.
you know what? I actually was not thinking about that. That
yeah,
is a
Dave
good-
was on top of it.
That's first time for everything.
I don't know what it is, but he was there.
Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Right.
Oh,
Up there.
no, there it is.
We
No
couldn't
shirt
quite
this time.
finish out the first show.
Why don't you come back here and take that towel off, big boy?
And he might get back in the next one, too. That's the worst part. Since we're recording these consecutively, you might get 2 weeks worth of big boy.
Big boy. I like it.
Everyone,
Well-
please go to the YouTube page so you actually see this.
Yes, youtube.com/Objection Network.
You know what? Tanning is overrated.
That's fair. What's it going to do? Give you skin cancer? Come on. Anyways, that's this show. We'll see you next time.
Bye.